All right, everybody, welcome to One Nation of Sports Locker Magazine Extra. I'm your host, Kirk DeMars, and thank you for joining me on this Monday, January the 26th. We are already into the end of this month, and we had a little bit of snow. I don't know if you guys spent any time shoveling, but had to do a little bit of that today in order to get my car out. So I will be glad when that's melted and gone. I just don't like snow anymore, and I know I live in Missouri, but that doesn't mean I've got to like the snow. All right. Hey, we've got a great program on tonight, so thanks for joining us. We've got Zach Barnes of Jefferson City High School, and Zach is an outstanding student athlete, and we had him in the Sports Locker magazine November, December issue of this past year, and we are excited to be able to talk with him tonight. So you as you can see, this is his article, and really, really cool pictures. It was fun going out there and doing the photo shoot with him. Katie, she did an awesome job of catching him in some uh, good poses as well as some good action shots. So I hope you guys enjoyed the magazine. If you didn't see it, you can go to sportslockermagazine.com to our digital issues, and you can pull that up and read his article there, as well as a lot of the other student athletes right here in mid-Missouri. All right. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring Zach on into the program. Zach, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am doing awesome. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts of the Sports Locker magazine November December issue with your article in there. What'd you think about that?
No, I thought it was really good, and I was just really honored to be a part of something like that, and just really appreciative of you guys for having me in there. So thank you.
Absolutely. We love doing it, and we get to know you guys and work hard to try to give a good representation of your character and just what you're all about. So, what I love is the schools when we contact them and we talk to the athletic directors. They are the ones that go through and talk to different coaches, and they select you guys to represent the school. And so I know they've got a big group of people that they can select from, and we only do six student athletes a year from each school. And so we're honored to have you, and I know that they think highly of you. Otherwise, they wouldn't have referred you to us. So good job.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. What do you remember about that photo shoot, and what was that experience like for you?
Yeah. The first thing I remember doing is filling out that like form on the little thing on the computer, and we
Yeah.
had to dig into my phone and find a bunch of information. But other than that, it was really good about like the pictures and everything like that, and they were super nice. So all that went really smooth.
Yeah, you did a great job, and I think Katie does a good job of putting you guys at ease when she's out there. She's having fun out there with you all, just trying to get the most creative shots that she can. So I appreciate her, and on top of that, she's my daughter, so that proud dad.
Yeah.
Tell us about what your family and friends. What were their responses about your article?
They all liked it. Got a lot of compliments and stuff like that on it, and I know my parents and everyone like that was super proud to see me in there, and all my friends kind of liked it. So I think they all liked it at least.
Yeah. Any of them ask you for an autograph, anything like that?
No,
No, they didn't. Say, come on, you know that might be worth something to them someday, right?
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. So in your article, as we saw in the title, it said "be a goldfish," and that you picked up that piece of advice from former coach Damon Wells. Uh, we caught on to that and thought that would be a great title. So tell us a little bit about that and what's the meaning of be a goldfish.
Yeah, so in football, I've always taught that it's like 80% mental and 20% physical. So everyone's human, you're going to make mistakes on the football field. And his saying was always be a goldfish because they have super short memories. So when you make a mistake, you always just have to move on to the next play, keep going, be yourself. So that's kind of what be a goldfish means.
Very good. We've got some different people on here, and they're tagging quite a few people, so that's awesome. Let's see. I've got a couple I want to. All right. So, uh, Crystal Drone said, "I bought a ton of magazines." Well, thank you, Crystal. We appreciate that. And
That's that's my mom.
yeah, and I kind of thought that's was the case, so that's awesome. Um, we again, I just it's a highlight for me to be able to work with again my daughter and my son-in-law and the other people that we work with and bring in the magazine and just getting out and getting to know you guys and a little bit and then tell your story. But you had quite a few unique things that you talked about, and so we'll get into that a little bit more tonight. What when you played football. You played in several different positions, and I want you to talk individually about those. I want to first start with long snapper. How did you get to do long snapper, and what drew you to that?
So my cousin was his name is Jerry Doyle Barnes. He went to Missouri Southern, I think, for long snapping, and he's the one that originally got me into it. And he went to JC and snapped for them too. But he kind of taught me how to snap in like seventh grade. And then ever since then, I picked it up and kind of just started training for it. And once I kind of earned the job as a freshman, then I kind of started taking it pretty seriously, and I started to go into some more training sessions with Tom Swoboda up in St. Louis, and from there I went to a competition last year around this time, and kind of just taken off from there. But yeah,
So it's very interesting with doing long snapper. I mean, you've got the defensive line that are literally right up on top of you, and you start with your. I mean, you have your head down, right? And you're
hmm
slinging that back there for, I mean, about how far is it that you have to get that football back there? And you got to get it back there in a hurry and in the right place. Tell us a little bit about the
yeah.
whole process of that.
So on PATs, it's a little more intimidating. It's only seven. You're only snapping the ball 7 yards, but there's two probably the biggest dudes on their team in both A gaps when you're snapping the ball, and your guards are stepping down inside of you. So a lot of the times, what'll happen is they get pushed into you, and that's not always the funnest thing, but most of the time the refs try to take care of the snapper. They used to be able to hit you head up, but now they can't put anybody head up of you because it's dangerous for you to have your head down and snapping the ball with somebody head up. So, but it's still sometimes you'll get crunched from the guards coming in the side.
Yeah. I mean, it almost sounds like you're an Oreo sandwich where they're just people just packing in on you.
Yeah.
Um, so, what would be one of your favorite memories from that particular position, and then we'll get into the other ones.
Um, I think it was my sophomore year. We were punting. I want to say it was against Moberly, and I snapped the ball and I pretty much ran up the field uncontested. Usually they have a linebacker or someone there to pick you up, but I ran up uncontested and the dude called for a fair catch and he was waiting to catch it and he muffed it and I got on it and that was a pretty big play in the playoffs. But the most like ironic thing is sometimes in practice when you're practicing like a PAT, it was a morning practice and it was really cold and I don't want to call him out, but our kicker Max Stackman kicked it, and it hit me right in the butt, and it hurt pretty bad.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's kind of people would think, maybe there wouldn't be a lot going on, but you had people crunching down on you, and then all of a sudden you had the threat of somebody kicking the ball in the backside. So there was a
Yeah,
lot going on with that position. But I do like the fact that it's not just about you snapping the ball. Once you snap the ball, you are literally involved with coverage, and you're getting down there and trying to make a play. So I don't know if a lot of people know that, but it's a very important position on the field, and I know you did a great job with that. Well, let's talk about slot receiver and what drew you to that, and what are some highlights there, and then we'll talk about being a defensive back. You can follow up with that.
yeah. So sophomore year, I was like the wing back or the running back, and then obviously we switched to the spread, and that's kind of when I went over to the slot. And well, we had Zay, a really good running back, coming up, and my skill set just kind of gravitated towards that slot position more than running back. And for the team, it was just the best thing at the time. And I kind of took that and ran with it and started training for the slot rather than a running back because previously I'd been a running back my whole career. So after I switched to that, I kind of really honed in my training for the slot receiver rather than running back.
So tell everybody a little bit about slot receiver. You've got obviously the wide outs, the wide receiver all the way on the side. The slot receiver, I mean, you're going through the middle a lot of the times where the action is. Tell about that and what you have to be aware of as you're navigating through the different players in the middle of the field.
Yeah, for sure. It helps to know if they're in like zone or man coverage. A lot of the times you'll have like an outside linebacker or nickel. If you're blessed, you'll get a safety playing at 10 yards, and
Mhm.
that's cake work. But um, when it comes to going across the middle, there's not a whole lot you can do, especially if you're like catching a quick slant and there's a linebacker in your face. You're more than likely going to get hit either way. You might as well catch the ball. That's what I've always been told.
Yeah, very good.
So,
Well, it can be. What would be one of your favorite moments as a slot receiver? One of your favorite plays?
um, I think it was like 4th and 12, 4th and 13 against Cap City this past year. And we kind of we called it Vegas, and it was just pretty much all verticals. And if you're capped or there was somebody over top of you, you would sit down. And if there wasn't, then you just keep running. And we just kind of threw up a back shoulder prayer and dove and caught it. Pretty sick picture of it too. So
That's a bonus. That's always good. Hey, we've got
yeah,
Papa is watching from Florida. Proud of you. Charles Jones said that. So we just got to ask, what's the weather like down there, Papa? It's snowy and cold up here. All right. Well,
yeah.
thank you guys all for joining us, and you're doing great with the comments. Keep those coming. Any thing that you want to share about Zach and his character, or favorite memories of him, feel free to include those. As well as if you happen to have any questions, we can try to work those in here as well if we have time. So uh, Zach doing a great job. Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about defense and defensive back. What do you enjoy? What did you enjoy about that position? And I'm assuming you like to hit people.
Yeah, that's probably the best part about it. I would be lying if I said it was my favorite, but towards the end, especially against like Camdenton in our last game of the season, I really kind of had to step up and play it more than the rest of the season. But it definitely takes. It's supposed to be, other than QB, like the hardest position on the field. You're guarding somebody that knows what route they're running, and they've ran it multiple times, and you're guarding it on the fly. So it's pretty difficult. It's a lot of technique based, and probably wasn't my favorite thing, but I could definitely do a decent job.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Jeremy O'Donnell says Ty says hi. Zach is a dude.
Coach
That's awesome.
OD.
Very good. Tell us about your early years in football and how you got started with that, and where your love came from playing the sport.
Yeah, so it started with flag football back when, I don't know, I guess I could walk. I don't really know what age I started, but it was pretty young. And my dad was always the coach of the team, so I always got extra training outside of our regular practices and stuff like that. So that's probably where it started, and then obviously you kind of carry that into playing with friends and on the playground and stuff like that. And everyone wants to be the best and score the most touchdowns when you're younger. But as you get older, it kind of just carries into actually training for it and
Mhm.
trying to get better every day. So,
Yeah, you hit on that a little bit. You know, playing with different teammates. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, I know you had teammates all throughout your career, but what did they mean to you, and how did they make you challenge you to be better on the football field?
yeah. So, like, it's kind of an interesting relationship because, like, as you come in as a freshman, you're just trying to learn and take everything in from the upperclassmen. And then as you evolve and become a better player, you're trying to give that information back to the other freshmen. So, um, definitely some like players that influenced me a lot were like Jacob Wilson, our QB. Um, when I was a younger player, freshman and sophomore, he was kind of my vote of confidence, I would say, like in practice and stuff. He would always reassure me and stuff like that. So um, he was definitely a key player. And then somebody that challenged me, Tanner Wingrath. He would always challenge me in practice and stuff like that. And sometimes it got heated, but we made up at the end. So,
Right, that's good. Very good. Well, we got some great comments coming here. I'm going to go ahead and share this one. Jim Marshall, who we've had on the program quite a bit, and I appreciate your comments, Coach. He said he watched your dad run a mean leg on our sprint relays. He didn't let people pass him, and he ran a lot of people down. Um, don't know if you did you know that?
I've heard that he was quite the speed demon on the track. Um, Not necessarily my strong suit, but we've got different skill sets for sure.
Yeah. So let's ask this question: have you had foot race with your dad, and was there a time when you were able to beat him? And did he allow you to do that again after you beat him the first time?
Um, I think he was smart enough to know that when I was fast enough to beat him, he wouldn't race me.
Yeah.
So I can't really remember a time where I've ever actually beaten him in a race. But in middle school, um, he would run the ball sometimes in like I think it was sixth or seventh grade, and I was playing outside linebacker, and I tracked him down. He was trying to run like a jet sweep or something. I tracked him down to the sideline. I think that's when he realized that he couldn't beat me in a race. We haven't
Okay.
really raced or talked about it since then.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. I can remember my dad. You know, we'd run foot races, and my dad was fast, and then he would beat me. But then there came the day I beat him, and then I wanted him to do it again. He never raced me again. So it's like, you know, beat me all of those times for all of those years. I get one time. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think they decide that it's time. So let's see.
for sure.
Christy Hill's got a comment here too. It says your uncle Justin from Georgia did actually have a jersey made and sent it to him to have it autographed to put on his side of the Chiefs jersey. So very cool. It's awesome. And then
Yeah.
Connie Darnell Cooley says, watching in Alabama, super proud of you, Zach. Roll Tide. And we got a couple more. Let's just go ahead and run these. Tom Swoboda, Zach, a snapping machine. Awesome. And let's see, your dad. A man must know when it is time to pass the reins. That's awesome. Thank you, Scott. And then let's do one more here. Nathaniel Claiborne, Brinkley, humble and coachable. Kid's a beast on both sides of the ball, gets it done in the classroom and on the gridiron. Wish I had more time with him. His next chapter, no matter what it's written, will be a bestseller. Extremely proud of you, Zach. Thank you. Appreciate that. And we did miss one. I want to thank your mom. So I'm most impressed at how humble Zach has been these past few years. Very proud. Very good. Thank you guys. I appreciate those comments. And I know The cool thing, Zach, is you're going to be able to pull up all this nice stuff whenever you want. If you're feeling down a little bit, I'm going to go back to the video and I'm going to pull it up. So, and or if somebody is mean to you, you can come back and say, when you remember when you said that nice thing about me, that it's right there. It's
Yeah.
on. It's online. It must be true. All right. Tell us about
Yeah.
your education and why that's so important to you.
Yeah, since a young age, I was always taught that school comes before sports or really anything else for that matter. And education is super important. And yeah, I mean, I never really got a chance to slack in school because I was always um, pretty monitored closely when it comes to my grades, especially by my dad. And once I learned the importance, he could kind of relax because I knew that I had to keep my grades up, especially for college and stuff like that. So um, I'll say, like, I guess I am like pretty naturally gifted with a pretty good memory and stuff like that, but not everything comes easy and you definitely got to study and work at it. So,
Well, I mean, I know you've got some goals outside of high school with your education, and knowing that you are very serious about it and you have some ability. Tell us what made you decide to pursue a degree as an aerospace engineer. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. Tell us about that.
yeah, so originally I was going to go into the medical field and the something about blood just makes me faint and pass out and I can't do it. So I mixed my skill set of like mathematics because I'm pretty good with that, and I have like a what's the word I'm looking for? A passion for aviation, and I kind of mixed those two and came to the conclusion of aerospace engineering. So that's kind of how I came up with that.
Yeah. Now you said your dad flies a plane, and have you been able to go up with him and experience that?
Yeah, for sure. I've
Yeah.
been up with him quite a few times. And actually, if Connie's still listening, when we flew down there to see her in Alabama, um, we are having something weird going on with the landing gear. So I kind of got to take over controls for a little bit. And I flew right over Bryant Denny Stadium. And I looked out the passenger window and saw the big A on the Alabama field. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. That that would have been pretty cool. Not the part about the landing gear problem, but it'd been pretty cool with everything else.
Yeah.
So obviously, you guys were able to. Now you can't leave us hanging on that. So tell us how all that finished out. How did everything go? You got it fixed and landed okay?
Yeah, I mean, we did like a flyby, and the tower said like everything looked good, so we just went ahead and landed. It was like a light bulb that was messed up, and yeah, it was
Okay.
weird.
Yeah, it would be. Well, you've done a great job. Let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll get back for the next half of the interview. Doing an outstanding job. We'll be right back.
Services has been connecting employees with employers since 1977. Recently, CNS rebranded to CNS Employment Solutions to more clearly define their mission of serving the needs of applicants, employees, and businesses while remaining current and evolving with the changes in the workforce. One important thing has not changed. CNS Employment Solutions partners with a wide variety of employers, placing employees in jobs that match their skills and needs.
Say yes to CNS.
All right, CNS Employment Solutions, Paula Benny and her team, they do an outstanding job right here in mid-Missouri, making sure that people that need jobs are able to get with an employer that's trying to fill positions, as well as they help the employer find talented people to fill those positions. So outstanding job with that. We appreciate their support with Sports Locker Magazine as well as this program, so that we're able to bring you interviews like this and articles like we have in the magazine about some outstanding student athletes right here in mid-Missouri, just like Zach Barnes. So we're just grateful for their support, as well as Big Whiskies. They are our supporter for coach of the issue, and coaches like Mark Bridges and the outstanding job that he does over in Fatima. And coaches put in a lot of hard work, spend a lot of time away from their families, just planning and mentoring and just doing everything that is involved in being a coach and mentor for these student athletes. Just like we have a couple of coaches that are on here tonight, we appreciate you guys and everything that you have done and pouring into the kids right here in Mid Missouri. And I know that they and their families appreciate all that you do, and we want to say a big thank you to you guys. All right, we've been talking to Zach Barnes, and let's go ahead and get started with the second half of the interview. All right, Zach, we're going to do a little transition. We talked about coach of the issue. Why don't you talk about your coaches in football and what have you appreciated about them?
Yeah, just kind of how much they care. When you're around them, especially my dad was a coach for up until my junior year, so I kind of would go in there and see how much work they put in, especially on the weekends. They really didn't have a whole lot of days off, especially in like during the football season. It was a lot of film study, a lot of everything like that. So just seeing how much somebody cares about it, and not just the players but also the coaches, means a lot. And then they care more than just about on the field, especially off the field. They always check in about school and just how you're doing home life wise and stuff like that. So that always means a lot.
That's that's an important thing because um, it's not just about the sport, that they're wanting to round you off as a whole person. And I know that it's a little bit different when you have a parent coaching. What was that like for you, and how were you able to adapt to that? Because typically they're going to hold you to a little bit of a higher standard than maybe they do other people. So what was that like, and how were you and your dad able to interact in all of that?
Yeah, it was definitely hard. I think I came to like almost like a breaking point freshman year, um, and it took a little bit of learning to take constructive criticism rather than I thought he was just being mean for no reason. So I definitely had to learn how to take coaching from him and not take it as like he's just being overly hard. And that was definitely a challenge. But Coach Laughlin, shout out him. He was freshman coach. He helped me get through that. And yeah, definitely a challenge.
So with that, being able to push through that, what do you appreciate about what your dad has done for you and all of that?
Yeah, he's always had my best interest in mind, no matter what. And obviously, looking back at it now, I could see that he was just trying to make me the best possible player that I could be, and be the best person I could be for the team. And obviously, I'm really grateful for him pushing me to be the best. And looking back at it now, wish I kind of would have handled some of the things that happened differently, but you live and you learn. So
Yeah. Well, see, that's good. He's going to be able to hear this too and be able to play that back anytime he wants, right? That's awesome.
yeah.
So, what would you say through football and through the coaches? How did that help build your character to be the person that you are today?
Um, Hard work and work ethic would be the main thing, but also just mental fortitude and courage, and especially confidence. Definitely like lets you know that you can do things past your mental breaking point, and your body can still physically handle it. So that's a really big thing. And just helps build relationships with teammates and builds friendships. And overall, it just builds you into a better person, I would say.
Do you feel like through those experiences going into your senior year and um, the different things that you learned from your coaches, you were able to kind of be a coach on the field and help some of the underclassmen to be able to work on some things and step their game up? What did you have any circumstances like that?
Yeah, for sure. And especially junior year, I know we haven't gotten there yet, but with the injury and everything, not being able to play, you definitely have to take a step back and see how you can help the team. And that was one of the main things, was just teaching them a lot about mental football and schemes and being able to read coverages and stuff like that, along with technique. Definitely kind of learn how to teach some of the younger classmen stuff like that.
Very, very cool. Um, we got a comment from Kylie Harden. Zach Attack. So proud of him and all of his accomplishments. I'll always remember those early years playing catch for hours on the playground at CGK. Awesome. Thank you, Kylie. You did reference it, so let's go ahead and talk about the injury that you had your junior year. What happened and what was that whole process like trying to get back from that injury?
So it happened at, I want to say it was the first 7-on-7 of the summer, and I was on defense, and it was like a go ball, and the dude just fell, and I just jumped over him, and when I landed, my hamstring just gave out, and tried to come back multiple times, and it would just keep pulling and giving out, and waited like a month and a half before I did anything, and just did a lot of rehab and stuff like that. And within like a week, I pulled it again. And that whole year, I was just trying to get back on the field. And I had a couple games span where I was able to play a little bit. And then against Battle, I pulled it again. So just not a lot of luck junior year when it came to battling that. And the hardest part was probably mentally, just trying to be there for my team and stuff like that. Um, Definitely probably one of the hardest things I went through mentally up to
Mm.
that point. So
For people that have never had something like that happen, as far as a hamstring pull, they may not think that that's that big of a deal, but that impacts you greatly when you're trying to run or cut or do different things like that. What kind of physical therapy did you have to go through to get it back to where you were flexible and strong enough again?
yeah, so that was kind of a challenge in itself. Is we took some MRIs and we did a little bit of therapy at JCMG for a while, and we really just couldn't find anything that was really helping it a whole lot, other than just doing what made it hurt and what made it pull, and just getting reps on top of reps at stuff like that, so we could build up some um, reinforcements, I guess you could say, like to make sure that it never happened again. But
Well, you did a great job coming back from that, and again, I know it's hard because you're wanting to be out there with everybody else, obviously. So, all
yeah,
right, we
for
got a
sure.
comment from Nate Brinkley. It says sports are just tools used to build and sharpen you physically and mentally. They prepare you for life's inevitable challenges. If you can overcome obstacles on the field, you can overcome obstacles in life. Keep doing your thing, young man. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate that. Um, so, what were some of your goals going into your senior year for you individually as well as a team, and how did you do with all that?
Well, one was just stay healthy and not pull my hamstring again. So accomplished that, and then some team goals. We really just wanted to, because junior year wasn't the greatest season. So one, just improve as a team and be the best team we can be, because there's a lot of things that you can't control outside of um, like what as a player you can control. So as like players and stuff, we just wanted to be the best players we can be and play as a team and try to be the best team we could be and just not make mental mistakes. And we definitely made some of those costly mental mistakes. So,
Okay. Well, this one is a pretty impactful statement here. This is from Christy Hill. She says, Papa Jeff Hill says Zach's dedication and commitment this season helped me survive cancer treatments. Thank you, Zach. That's pretty neat. So um, thankful that he's able to get through that and is doing better. So that's awesome.
yeah.
Very good. We'll get to family here in a minute, but I want you to just share a little bit about the teachers and administration. What have they meant to you at Jefferson City High School, and how have they impacted you and your education and just developing your character?
Yeah, I've definitely had some very influential teachers. I'll throw a few names out. Miss McKee, um, she taught me in all my medical classes, even though I'm not going into that anymore. She definitely helped me throughout school. Um, Miss Tab, Miss Minks, two of my math teachers, going into engineering. So that definitely helped learning from them. And then Coach Brinkley's been on here quite a bit when it comes to mental stuff in middle school. He was always kind of the guy to go to. He was our hype guy and our uh, it was kind of a cool how do you relationship because he was the hype guy, but he was also the kind of the guy you go to when you're dealing with something a little bit deeper than football. So
Yeah, the hype guy. That that's always great to see those guys out there. So that's awesome that he does that.
oh yeah.
Let's see. Amy Elliott Sneller says, "Love this, but makes me tear up. Love you, Zach. Can't wait to see what the future holds for you." And then Derwin Drone says, "So proud of you, Zach, Papa D." Well, let's.
All the Children's Garden of Knowledge teachers are popping in here.
That's great. Tell us about. Let's go ahead and talk about family now. You got a big family. Tell us about your parents first. What do you appreciate about them, and how have they impacted who you are?
Yeah, just always being there and supporting me no matter what's going on. And what I can say about both of them is they'll always put any of their kids before themselves. And I think that says a lot about who they are as people. So I just want to say thank you to them for supporting me through this athletic and just life in general.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about your siblings, and let's go ahead and grandparents as well. Feel free to do that.
Yeah, so on my dad's side, uh, Nini and Papa, those are my grandparents. They're the ones that live in Florida. Papa was in here a little bit ago. They're great. And then I have two stepbrothers, Ryan and Bryce. They go to school down in Southeast Missouri. Always grew up playing sports outside and video games with them, especially during the summer. And then my sister, Lexi, we didn't really get along that great growing up, but I'd say we're pretty good friends now, pretty close. And then on my mom's side, I have two younger twin brothers. They're 6 years old, Clayton and Colton. Definitely interesting personalities. You'd be surprised how different they are, even though they're twins. And then Kinsley, who is my baby sister on my mom's side. And she's probably one of the toughest people I meet. And it's crazy to say that about a baby, but the stuff that some of my twin brothers do to her, and I don't think I've seen her cry because of any of it, is pretty crazy.
And that something I know. My youngest grandson, he's 4 years old, and there's a big gap between him and the others. 10, 10 years old is the next youngest one, and the
Mm-hmm.
oldest is 16. So there's five of them all together, and he just feels like he can jump in and do whatever everybody else is doing. Um, but I will say this: he will cry. So that's pretty pretty amazing that she doesn't do that.
And then I got one more. My nana and pawpaw. Pawpaw is the one that had cancer, and then my nana actually just got out of like rotator cuff shoulder surgery. So they live here in Jeff, so they've always kind of been there for me too. So
Yeah. Well, Nana and Papa, I hope you guys are getting well, and I'm sure the rest of the family's like, okay, that's enough of all that right now. Let's get on and move forward. Just like let's see, I saw this comment here a little bit ago. Let's see, I might have missed it. Oh, Nate Brinkley said, "Put those work boots on and get to it." So hope you all are able to continue to move forward in your life. And Scripture talks about Moses. He was 120. His eyesight was clear, and he was as strong as he ever was. So I'm just going to pray that over you guys. So hopefully you have good health and strength the rest of your days. Let's see. Now tell us about. You talked about in your article about the weight room and how important that was to you. Uh, what did that do for you in helping to motivate you to be a better player?
yeah, that's kind of like my mental getaway. Rather than like, I don't really look at it as training when I'm in the weight room. It's something that I truly do just enjoy. I still wake up at 6 a.m. and go to the gym every day before school. And it's not necessarily because I want to look super great. I mean, that's definitely a perk, but it's a really good getaway and mental break and kind of clears my mind. And obviously, you need to be strong and big for football and stuff like that. But I never really looked at the weight room as like training per se. It was just something that I always really enjoyed doing. So,
Yeah, very good. Why don't you tell us how you want to be remembered for from your time at Jefferson City High School when people bring up your name? How do you want to be remembered?
yeah, I think everybody wants to be remembered as like a great player on the field, but I also want to be remembered as like a good teammate and somebody that was always helpful and kind to other players. And sometimes you need to be stern and get a point across, but you never want to be um, hateful or talking down to somebody. So aside from being a good player on the field, just being a good teammate to everyone else.
And what was it like playing for the Jefferson City Jays and those fans? What did they mean to you, and what's a fond memory you have there?
Uh, I would say just the history that is involved with Jeff City. I forget how many exact state championships that they've won, but being a powerhouse and the best, you're always trying to get back to that point. And we haven't been there in a while, but just trying to get back there and uh, kind of recreate history. There's always something to chase and a goal that I've had at playing JC. And then um, some of the fan interactions, it's a lot of them are just super supportive, just good game, stuff like that after the game. I can't really ever recall like a bad fan interaction, but all of them were pretty consistent. Just like at the end of the game, you played well, stuff like that. So
Very good. Tricia said, "You will always be in the history books. Very proud of you. Much love." And then Jim Wiseman said, "Cared about his J brothers!" Exclamation point. Well, we talked about a couple of things. I'm gonna two questions, and then we'll get into the speed round here real quick, and then we'll let you get on with the rest of your evening. What are some of the things that you like to do in your spare time?
Aside from spend all my money on fast food, um, I really like fishing. Like I said, going to the gym. Recently got my Xbox fixed, so been dabbling in some games here and there. Um, I'm a pretty big movie watcher. I've watched a lot of movies. Um, and then watching football would probably be the next biggest one, I would say.
Okay.
And then aviation after that, but yeah.
All right. Very good. Uh, so we didn't ask this. Do you plan on pursuing an athletic career after you get out of high school?
Uh, kind of working on it a little bit. I'm trying to get bigger and stuff like that. I kind of got my mindset on Missouri S&T. So if I can play football there, that would be great. I think I'm gonna try to. But if not, just go where the wind takes me.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see, I did miss this one here earlier. As far as academic awards, what are some different academic awards that you've received or any type of recognition there?
Yeah. I'm in National Honor Society. Uh, I made academic all state. Um, I have a pretty good GPA. There's some other ones that aren't coming to mind. Uh, I
Well,
didn't
those
really
are all
remember
really
those.
good. Those are
Yeah.
all really good, and I think that goes along with. I think that goes along with what your mom was saying earlier, that you're very humble, and so it's not about pointing out different things about you. So I I get that, and that will take you a long ways, putting others before yourself. So good job. Let's see, ranked 15 or 19 is what your mom said. So very good. 3.98 GPA.
Yeah, I lost the 4.0 last year.
Yeah, that's still really good. Good job. All right. Well, hey, you've done a great job here. Let's go ahead and do a couple of quick fun speed round questions. And you brought up a couple of them, which I'm going to go ahead and ask you. But first, what's your favorite go-to snack or meal after you're done with a game or a practice?
There for a while, after pretty much every single practice, I would go to Culver's and get a double butter burger.
A double butter
So
burger.
that's my go-to.
All right. Well, you were talking about fast food, so would that be your favorite fast food place, or what is your favorite?
Um, I don't. I guess if I had to put my finger on a favorite, that would be up there. But there's some other really good ones, like Chick-fil-A is really good. And that one kind of had to grow on me because I wasn't a fan at first, but the
Uh-huh.
older I get, the more I like it.
You like the spicy
Um,
chicken, or you like the regular chicken?
Probably the spicy chicken,
Yeah, yeah, that's where I
but
go.
big sour candy guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so which sour candy? What's your favorite there?
The sour Skittles are probably like the consistent go-to, but sour Gushers are really good. Sour Patch Kids are a classic.
Uh huh.
Um, but the all-time fave, Sour Mike and Ike's.
Sour Mike and Ike's. That I don't know that I've ever tried that one. I liked a lot of those other ones that you said, but I don't know that I've ever tried a Sour Mike and Ike.
It's pretty
Have you? I like
niche.
hot tamales. Have you ever had those?
I have, can't say I'm a fan.
I just like this. I like the stuff with the heat and the spice, so that's just what I do. What's your
Yeah.
favorite dessert?
Probably cheesecake.
Okay.
Pumpkin pie is pretty close. I don't really discriminate though. A lot of sweet snacks are welcomed. Yeah, I like pretty much all of them.
Yeah, there you go. So that you guys, everybody that's watching, when you're together, you just feel like you want to treat Zach. You've got a bunch of options right here. You can make him happy by filling a lot of those different needs. What about mom's cookies?
Yeah, those are up there for sure.
Okay, all right, because yeah, you got to make sure you do that because she brought it up. All
Yeah.
right, if there's anywhere in the world you could go, where would that be and why?
Hmm. Probably. Well, I haven't really thought about this one. Definitely somewhere overseas, maybe like Japan or something would be pretty cool. Um, I've never been to Hawaii, so that would be pretty cool. Just some places like that, big mountains,
Hmm.
ocean.
Yeah. We've got some friends that have given us an open invitation to come over there. They said they'd take care of our lodging and all that. We just got to get over there. We're just finding the time and the opportunity to go. It just hasn't happened, but that's pretty
Yeah,
tempting to want to go over there. So,
for sure.
all right, last one. This is going to be important. We might have some feedback on this one too. So, your least favorite chore to do around the house and why?
Probably just all of them, to be honest. But I really dislike dishes. On top of everything else, I cannot stand doing dishes.
Okay. Well, just to tell you that that's the number one answer most people do. That one and probably cleaning the bathroom is the second one. So your dad says needs to work on his golf game. Tell us a little bit about that.
He's too scared to play me, so I really don't want to hear anything from him. Just like that race.
Yeah,
I've been trying to get him out on the golf course for I don't know how long, and he will not play me. So I don't think he has really any room to talk. That comment has no merit whatsoever.
that sounds like a challenge, Dad. I think you need to get out there. All right, I want to give you. We're finished with everything. I want to give you an opportunity to any final comments or any additional shout outs. Feel free to go ahead and do that right now.
Just all my coaches and family who have been there for me and everything like that. That's probably it.
All right. Well, you did an outstanding job, and it's great having you on the program tonight. Let's see. Trisha said famous at finding ways to get out of doing chores. Okay. Famous. That would not have cut it with my mom and dad. They would not have let that happen. So, um, all right. Well, Zach, thanks for taking time out tonight. I'm going to have you hold on. I'll visit with you just real briefly after the program. And but thanks for coming on tonight. I just want to
Yeah.
again say thanks for the honor of being able to tell your story on Sports Locker, and appreciate you taking time to talk to us tonight.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll see you here in just a few moments. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight on One Nation, the Sports Locker Magazine Extra. Um, Great interview with Zach. He did an outstanding job. And just want to remind you, if you haven't seen the magazine, you can go to sportslockermagazine.com for the digital edition, and you can pull that up and read his story. Um, we absolutely love being able to share with you the stories of great student athletes like Zach Barnes. And so after I'm done with the program here, I will upload to YouTube. So that will be available on the Sports Locker Magazine YouTube page as well. All right. That's it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm your host, Kirk DeMars. And until next week, God bless you, and we'll see you then.